Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to see you all again. Thanks for the comments on my last video. Here are some of my favorites, and of course, I appreciate you all. Now, if you know me, you know I'm no stranger to reality TV. You get a bunch of interesting people together in front of a camera crew and make them do stuff. It practically writes itself. But every once in a while, a reality TV show tries to turn the concept on its head and change things. So what if we took 20 people and put them on an island with no food or water for 28 days and let them survive all by themselves? What if we take a group of people who are in a relationship with inmates, right? And follow their journey as they get out of jail? What if we made a reality TV show, but actually none of it is real and it's all one big prank? Oh, that'll never work. We all know reality TV has to be real. Well, a few years ago, a show premiered on Amazon Freevee in 2023 called Jury Duty. And the premise was that it was a real TV show documenting the inner workings of a jury trial in the US through the eyes of a juror whose name was Ronald Gladden, a solar contractor from San Diego. And he's unaware that his jury trial summons was not official. And everyone in the courtroom, aside from him, is an actor. Everything that happens inside and outside of the courtroom was planned to the T. To him, it was all real. Each person, each situation, each element for days on end. They disrupted this man's sense of reality so much to a point that after the show ended, he wasn't even sure if it did actually end. I mean, they lied to him once. Why wouldn't it be possible that they lied to him again? So that brings us to 2025 with an iteration of the Joe Schmo Show. The series was originally broadcasted on Spike TV for 2 seasons in 2003 and 2004. And then it was revived for a 3rd season in 2013. The series was again revived for a 4th season, premiering on TBS in January 2025. And that's the one I'll be covering. The first season's hoax was conducted as a typical reality show competition, while the 2nd season was more like Bachelor dating series. In the 3rd season, the hoax featured aspiring bounty hunters tracking down real fugitives over the course of its run, quote unquote, on Real. The show's cast of fake contestants has always included several actors who would later become well known, like Kristen Wiig, Natasha Leggero, and John Huertas. So on May 17, 2023, TBS announced that it will revive the Joe Schmo Show for a 4th season with Kat Deely as their host. And the premiere initially planned for 2024, but it got delayed a bit and relaunched in 2025. In this latest incarnation, the real and fake contestants participate in an elaborate competition known as The GOAT USA, a supposed Americanized adaptation of a popular but fictitious South Korean series called The GOAT. The schmo that's been chosen for season 4 is Ben Frisone, an electrician from Baltimore, Maryland, and he's accompanied with 11 actors, all playing different character archetypes, helping push forward their main storyline. We have people who are like the jock, people who are like the gamer, people who are like brother and sister in a Christian band, and they make music together. So let's get a breakdown on what this show was, what happened, and some of the main parts of it. Okay, so in the first episode, we basically just meet Ben, and they really emphasize to us that the show is not real. And we do see a lot of behind the scenes for the show itself, like the producer's control room, the fake producer, the fake host, which she kind of acts like a real host on the show. I'm going to call her a real host from now on. And of course, all the contestants. I think the crazy part is they go right off the bat with like over the top theatrics after their first surprise challenge happens. I mean, they really want to make sure that Ben plays his part and doesn't throw anything off by solving the puzzles too fast or just by being bad at them. 2 characters I noticed were Braxton, the alpha, and Maya, who they say is supposed to be Ben's best friend on the show. And I don't like that at all. I don't like how they're setting this up. I'll tell you why later in the video, or you'll see why later in the video. So after the first challenge, Roxy from Hannah Montana gets eliminated. I know her name's not actually Roxy, but she's the lady from Hannah Montana, right? Hannah's bodyguard. She gets eliminated off the bat because she committed a button violation. And Ben immediately is like, that lady's an actress. Like, wow, she was so dramatic. That lady had to be an actor or a plant, blah, blah, blah.
That woman was an actor.
Yeah.
100%.
You think so?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, other than that, we nailed it.
You don't think she was an actor? You think that was real?
And the other actors had to kind of cover for her and say, you know, maybe she's cranking it up for the camera. And Ben just kind of brushes it off to the side. I mean, like, he literally clocked it and called it. The whole production team is freaking out and tells the actors to be more low key because he's already onto them. There's so many times where I feel like Ben just knows what's going on, or like he's one step from figuring out what's going on. And then they're like, no, it's not. And he's like, okay. like, bro, just put a little bit of thought into it. I don't know. Maybe he did know. And he was like, oh, shoot, if I play along with this, you know, maybe I'll win some money. That's what I would have been thinking. So after that challenge, Ben meets the rest of his showmates, one being child star Jonathan Lipnicki, but he's here playing like a Hollywood jerk version of himself. He's like complaining his bed isn't facing the correct direction of the sun and just talking to people kind of however he wants, just basically being a douchebag. Meanwhile, they're forcing alliances on Ben by having conspiracy theorists George Michael befriend him, and it works off the bat. He's basically protecting this guy. This is his number 2 guy.
Awesome to leave with a bunch of friends, you know what I mean? Like talk to and like.
I don't want to be famous. I just want the money. I just want to get home and like build my bunker and like get ready. You know what I mean? Hi, my name is Charles Michael. I'm vaccinated. I've been fired from a few jobs for excessive emotional behavior. No, I don't have a bunker.
Loves him. That's his guy. And that's another part of the show that kind of bothered me. Ben was really making connection with these people and being nice to them and being himself with what he thought were real people. Everyone else is acting and playing a totally different person. So after everything is revealed, it feels like it's kind of hard to draw the line at what emotions were real from the actors and what wasn't, you know? In episode 2, Ben becomes the honorary goat keeper, essentially a fake job where he has to go tend to the goat, which gives the actors in the morning some time to talk with producers, to plan and talk and tell what their goals are for the day with Ben, and possibly any changes to the script that need to happen. I really like this idea of having the actors constantly getting updates and changes, like daily stand-ups. It kind of reminded me of live TV because, like, for Ben, this was real, so they had to change things on the fly. I really like that. They do their first challenge, and this is another moment where Ben gets to see everyone's personality. But after the challenge, they really want Ben to see this toxic prank relationship between George Michael and YouTube prankster Ryan, whose catchphrase is like splunk. They set it up to look like George Michael had poured orange juice on Ryan's shoes, and Ryan gets very mad, obviously, because he's supposed to be the prankster and now he's getting pranked on.
Yo. Dude, obviously it was you who did it, dog.
Why'd you put orange juice in your shoes?
Why would I put orange juice in my shoes, dude?
I don't know. You know
I'm a sneakerhead. Why would I put orange juice in my shoes?
And Ben doesn't like that. He's accusing George Michael, and Ben gets involved and starts yelling at Ryan, basically. They really did a good job of setting up like story points really early in the show because they do want to make bigger pranks in subsequent episodes. Wink, wink. Each episode ends with basically an elimination. One person is the keeper of the horns, who is like the winner of the challenge, and they get to decide who gets to put their heads in the clamps of Damocles, I think. All the names are crazy, stupid. It's supposed to be the dumbest show ever. Keeper of the Horn smashes the urn of whoever they want to be eliminated. I'm not going to tell you who's getting eliminated in each episode, or at least I'll try not to. I don't really think that's important as much as the actual story of Ben being on this show. If you want to get the nitty-gritty details, I highly recommend you watch the show itself. It's on TBS. It might be on like HBO Max or something. I don't know. But the main story is really about Ben, and everyone else is just a device to get to that finish line. So episode 3 starts early morning with Ben immediately going to tend to the goat, and that gives production time to set up what they consider the big prank that George Michael is going to be pulling on Ryan.
It's important that Ben is the goalkeeper. It buys the entire team that bit of thinking time in the morning.
They set it up in episode 2 with the smaller prank with the shoes, and now this is supposed to be a really big prank that shows that, you know, maybe George Michael isn't exactly in his right mind. Maybe he's not all the way there. But they overlook a huge flaw in the prank itself that will be revealed and you'll see. So the whole group heads outside towards these steps where they're going to be going to do their first challenge of the day. They really play Ryan up to be like this douchey character, But in the end, he kind of is like one of my favorites. He keeps making goat noises while they're standing on the steps, waiting for their turn to start. So the fake producer see that Ryan is basically trying to provoke George Michael to do something, who knows what. But the fake producer pulls aside Ryan and Ben at the same time, which leaves Ben very confused because he literally didn't do anything at this moment, like a kid being called into the principal's office when you're the one being picked on. He takes them to a separate room where they can't see the outside. And they do this just so they can set up the next bit of George Michael pulling the prank on Ryan. And the fake producer is telling Ben and Ryan that they basically need to get it together. You need to stop hating on each other. I don't need this to bleed into the show. This is going to show on camera, blah, blah, blah. He's making up whatever excuse. And he doesn't want to play out bad on camera, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Far in the distance, there is a wood chipper machine that they set up the day before. Just some random wood chipper machine. Who knows why it's there? Has nothing to do with the challenge, nothing to do with anything. And George Michael goes to it, has all of Ryan's personal suitcase and clothing somehow, and is putting that stuff into the wood chipper.
Hey, Ryan! Is this your stuff? Wait, that had to be set up. Like, the thing's just there?
This part really doesn't make sense because all of the characters are supposed to be lined up in a single file line on top of the stairs before even entering the challenge. No one has entered the challenge area, and there are many other producers near them. So where would George Michael have found the time to leave the line, go back into the house, grab Ryan's suitcase, take it all the way down the to the wood chipper at the bottom of like the hill, and then throw it into the wood chipper, and nobody saw him? All those cameras, all those producers, nobody questioned anything. So immediately when Ben sees this, he says the words like, okay, this has to be fake, right? I'm on a show. This is all a big prank on me.
Dude, I'm on a show and this is all a big prank on me, right? We're blown.
All the actors and all the producers are trying to hold it together because they're like, oh my goodness, maybe we went too far because this doesn't really make sense. Ben is totally onto us. The whole show is ruined. So they tell the whole group that the challenge is going to be canceled for the day. And I have to take George Michael to say like he's getting like a psych evaluation and like medical team evaluation or whatever. But really he's in the production tent and they're trying to like come up with ideas on how to spin the situation and make sure that it makes sense to Ben. All of that is happening. The whole group goes back into the house and they're just kind of like on a holding pattern sitting in the living room. But while they're waiting, Ben decides that he's going to start looking for coins. In the beginning of the game, the host tells everyone that they are hiding coins around the house somewhere, and these coins give you some type of advantage, just like Survivor with their immunity idols, right? Only problem is these coins don't exist at all. There's no coins, and Ben has been searching every square inch of this home trying to find them. And I think what pissed me off even more is that some characters do end up finding coins, but it's only because the production team gave it to them for like storyline plots. After Ben is searching for coins for whoever knows how long, he gives up. They send George Michael back in with a well-developed story on what happened, why he did what, everything that happened between him being in line and him getting to the wood chipper. He gets to Ben and Ben is basically like, are you okay, dude? George Michael is ready to tell a story and, sell the cover up, but Ben really doesn't even need to know the details. He just asks if he is okay and he doesn't ask any further questions. He's not like, what happened? How did that happen? How did you get down there? So he just kind of fucking lets it go. So really the whole production team got off pretty easy. They didn't even have to explain what happened. And maybe that's the reason why they chose Ben to be on the show, because he does not question a single thing a little bit. He'll get suspicious, but he will not question it. He does not do a proper investigation to actually find out whether it's real or not. All right, so we're now in episode 4, and right off the bat, another challenge, but this time the goal is to have Ben win the challenge. I kind of think it's weird that they need Ben to win this challenge and that they just kind of hope he's good at puzzles and certain tasks instead of like why don't they just have the actors act like they did good or act like they did bad and just fudge the numbers? They all go individually one at a time. So it's not like the actors had to actually do the puzzle, but they do let them do it because like we're on TV and we want to see everyone's reactions to the puzzle. I do think that makes sense. So it's Ben's turn to do the puzzle and he's absolutely terrible at word puzzles. He flies through the first 2 steps, but the last one he takes, I think, the longest time of the day. He has the slowest time, and they can't even lie to him and say that he did good to win this. Like, it's just so unbelievable at this point. So they have to rewrite the episode to create a new winning and make a new winner. And I guess for the show itself to be more entertaining, yeah, we did have to see the actors go and do the dumb and silly challenges because they were absolutely dumb and silly. They fudged the numbers a bit, and Ben comes second to last, and they make Maya the winner, which is good. This works because Maya's Ben's bestie on the show. So now she can protect him when they go to elimination. Ben really becomes best friends with Maya. Like, they are close. And it seems like Maya also likes Ben a lot too. Like, in reality, not just as an actor. I don't know. Maybe she's a really good actor. But yeah, Ben likes her so much to a point where he said if it came down to him and Maya, and he had to choose or whatever, he would hope that she won. Episode 5 and 6 are pretty normal, and at the end of episode 6, Ben gets eliminated, and that's the end of the show. He lost. Okay, bye. Thank you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. That's it. Nah, not really. I mean, he did get eliminated, but this is all part of the show's plan, which I think is pretty smart. Keep Ben on his toes. I know I watched enough reality TV to know that some shows do this thing where eliminated players all have a chance to get back into the game. Usually they'll take part in some kind of challenge, and whoever wins basically gets to be placed in the final 4 or final 5. So when Ben gets eliminated, they take him to this small house off the main house where all the eliminated players were hanging out day to day and just chilling, playing games, filming stuff for social media content. And some of Ben's closest friends on the show had already been eliminated at this point. So he was really happy to see them, like Ryan and George Michael being there. Like, it was awesome. Seeing Ben in the eliminated house and still having fun and so much energy with everyone, no matter how silly or crazy the situation was. It was just great to see. It seemed like he was just having more fun as an eliminated person than he was in the game itself. So now we get to episode 7, where all the people who previously lost compete against each other. But really, they're just making sure that Ben ends up the winner, and they really have to make sure that he wins by telling all the other players and characters, if you get him first, let him come back and catch up and get into first. Like, you don't make a move till he makes a move. Bro, Ben had these producers stressed. If you have to keep relying on Ben to actually win these games, he would not go far at all. He does not win. But anyway, they do the challenge. Ben is back in the game, and he now is in the final 4. Okay, more and more minor things happen in the next 2 episodes, and now we're at a point where it's the final 2, and guess who it is? Ben and Maya. People who are eliminated now get to vote like Survivor's jury on who they want to be the keeper of the horns. They each give their spiel on who they're voting for and why, and it ends up being Ben who gets to wear the horns, meaning he now has to decide whether he's going to smash his own urn or smash Maya's urn. If he smashes Maya's urn, easy win, he gets the $100,000. Boom, right? So let's watch and see what he does.
If you choose to smash your urn, Maya
Is the goat.
They're nervous. I'm nervous.
You didn't have to save me, but you did. And now I'm here to crown the goat, which only I, keeper of goat, can do.
This is a man. What the man?
It's like, what's cooler? You know, winning $100,000 or giving it away.
So Ben smashes his own urn, leaving Maya to be the winner of the game. Game over. She gets the $100,000 now. Ben ruined the game, and now he gets no money. Good night. Bye, guys. Okay. All right. That's the last time I'm doing that. I'm done. I'm sorry. The game isn't over, and the production team definitely planned for this moment. There ends up being a token inside of Maya's urn, and this is where the curtains come down, all of the facade comes down, and they do the reveal that the GOAT isn't a real show. He thinks just the show isn't real. He doesn't even consider the fact that everyone, all the contestants are actors. He has no idea that they're also actors. He starts talking about how Maya was such a sweet girl and she was so nice and he would do anything for her and wanted her to win so bad. I got some bad news for you, bro. Everything on the show wasn't real. Everyone is an actor. all the situations were made up. They really had to drill this into his head for him to understand. And of course, he's confused and flabbergasted. They let each actor take a moment to introduce their real self to him, their real names one by one. And he does end up winning the cash money, which was advertised as $100,000. Well, they lied to him again because he actually won $200,000, enough to cover for emotional damages. I just know Ben thought he found a good friend in Maya, and to know that like all of them were actors has to be a crazy mind freak. All in all, I did enjoy the show. I think they found the perfect person deserving of the money. He was just average enough at challenges that it was believable. And the situations they put him in really pushed the boundaries of things you'd see on reality TV shows. Plus, I really love the aspect of seeing behind the scenes stuff with production. If you have not seen this show, which I don't think many people have, I'd recommend it for sure. It's not Severance, but it's cool. It's good. It's entertaining. I like it. It's got Maurice's stamp of approval. It's got my half stamp of approval. I don't know if that's a thing, about making that a thing. Anyway, if you guys came all the way to the end of this video, I really appreciate you. Thanks everyone. Once again, all my subscribers. We're on our way to 10,000 and I reached my 1,000 subscriber goal. That's freaking amazing. More videos to come, of course. Got some good ideas that I'm working on. Always working on good ideas. Always working on more stuff. Let me know in the comments if there's something you'd like me to cover. There's a show, TV, movie, anything, whatever. I'm interested in covering social media. Let me know, please. All right, peace.